Alrighty. Woohoo! Yay! Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jen.
If you're watching this later, or
Right,
evening.
or whenever. Yeah. We do. We have a lot of people that pick it up later after work or after, even though it's Sunday. A lot of people work on
later
Sundays.
in the week. Sometimes a lot of people, like if they're working on Sunday, they watch Monday.
Right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We don't have anybody in the chat yet. That's okay. So we are Sacred Sounds of Coffee for September, and we are talking about joy, which is huge, I think, in these times, in our current climate, with everything that's going on. I think it's so important to stay connected with our joy,
Yeah. Good morning, Jennifer. We started out with a giggle before we even went live.
We did, because Gail's crazy, and we all know it.
I'm having to text her on my phone to get their attention. When you do StreamYard, the people that you invite into StreamYard show up down below, and you have to click on them to get them on screen. So Gail's sitting there talking to me, like we're on Zoom or something. She's like, "Can you hear me?" And I'm like, "No, put me on screen. I'm not on screen."
And I'm looking, and I usually as soon as you pop up, I click you in, and this morning, it made no sense.
I'm down below, and it's like, "Yes, I can hear you. Good morning, Sylvia."
Hi, Sylvia.
Like, I can hear you, but I'm not on screen. You can't hear me.
Oh my gosh.
She's checking her sound. She's doing all these
I'm doing all the things.
What's wrong?
Oh yeah. Click Jen, enter in the studio. That was all it took.
Let me
so we're there today, right? We're there. Okay. We both had a little joy in our hearts over that, because that's when you can be.
Everything happens for a reason. The topic was joy. We had a little joy to start the morning.
Right. Out of the gate, yes.
And my coffee, and my funny, joyful shirt. I don't buy sign. I caffeinate and hope for the best. So let me caffeinate.
Hi, Teresa. Hi, Sylvia. Oh, yay.
First cup this morning. Slept
in
a little bit,
so I was thinking of all that, like what brings me joy, because what
coffee
starts that. Honest to goodness, when every morning I get a cup of coffee. I if I have my favorite, I'll make it. Sometimes I'll treat myself to Starbucks, but I'm in my car always going to work, right? And I take that first sip, and it freezes the world. And I'm always out of my mouth without anything. I'm like, thank you.
And it's like a sacred sigh. It's like, the first sip of coffee.
So that for me is a huge joy point. I'm like, why am I so addicted? Because I hit that moment of joy. And it's like,
I'm not a morning person. So I'm one of those people. Do not talk to me till I've had at least a sip of coffee. Just don't even say good morning, and then if I don't answer, just ignore me. I'm one of those.
Yeah, no, for sure. It just gets your brain organized and gets you calm and connected for me. So I think I do connect to joy in that moment. I'm always just immediate. Thank you. Thank you for this coffee. Thank you for this cup. Thank you for this car. Then the whole gratitude part starts, and those two are very connected. I was noticing, because I'm thinking a lot the last few weeks about what is joy, like what, and when I have joy, I'm always immediately in gratitude mode. So I'm like, those two for me are very, once I hit that moment of joy, I'm like, wow, thank you. So it's there. I think gratitude is really connected to that too.
I agree, because first thing I say to people that are like depressed or something, having a hard time, is start a gratitude journal. Yeah. You've got something every day to be grateful for.
Yes.
You can control the remote and turn the news off if it's bringing you down. You can control that.
Yes. And I think, part of, because I think going into that chaos and that grief constantly of the news, of the current state of things, like that's a major joy blocker. Like it blocks your joy because you're in this chaos, you're in this, overwhelm. And I think it's important not to dwell. Like, we need to know the news. We need to know what godforsaken thing is happening next. But we need to step out too. And because it just takes your joy. It's a joy sucker. We are
We're
in the time of joy suckers.
We're not monks in a cave. We're here having a human experience and sharing our experiences with others. So I don't agree with hiding away and sticking your head in the sand like a camel.
It's not reality.
It is that does that. It's not reality. It's good to stay aware of things, but how much you stay aware is up to you. You can turn the TV off.
Right. For sure. And you need to sometimes. I think that's, part of, making sure your channels to love and joy are open, and you're connected with your higher self and your true self. You gotta break that connection into the crazy world sometimes. Make sure you get enough time on both sides.
Yeah.
But I was
you got to do it yourself. It comes from the inside. You can't look to other people to fix you.
No, for sure. So speaking of joy, someone heard the camera click on and was like, "Mom, I'm coming on your lap because I do."
Because I have a big smile on my face today.
What's up, bro? Yeah, she was chasing squirrels earlier when I was getting everything set up. She's at the window carrying on with the squirrel.
Because that brings her.
She heard the camera and she's like, "Ooh, my show. I need to make my appearance."
She's up here watching out the window too. Same thing, watching squirrels.
Yep, it is. And it's the time of squirrels. They're so busy right now getting all their stuff for the winter. Oh, they're running back and forth. Makes her crazy. She almost knocked the computer on the floor. She tangled herself up, and boy.
Our inner life is much like, my garden outside. I notice I have let the weeds go way too far in my garden. I had big old goldenrod growing up in my garden. So I'm coming back from the grocery store and I'm pulling up my driveway. I have kind of a long driveway, and I'm like, look at that goldenrod. And I'm sitting here sniffling. My sinuses are all messed up. And I'm like, I let it get 3 feet high, 4 feet high in the front garden.
Yeah. They've been brutal. Yeah, we're both sniffling.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I need to, sometimes you got to get out and you got to prune and weed the front garden, but you also have to weed what's in here sometimes.
Yes.
Right?
Yep. For absolute sure.
Things that are wearing
you up. Yeah. I mean, I think another thing that is, really blocks our joy is holding on to trauma, holding on to anger, holding on to, all these things that just, if they consume you, they take it all away. You can't connect, and it kind of breaks that connection with your joy and your heart. And it's, it's hard because we're consumed right now in a lot of ways. It's hard not to be.
We never talk about astrology really, but Saturn and Neptune moved into Aries back in March, the end of March. And it really, because it's sitting at 1 degree Aries, so it's sitting right on my moon in my natal chart. And I'm in Aries, and I have 4 planets in Aries, so it really impacts me when planets like that come into Aries. But Aries is that warrior energy, right? That masculine energy, and the fiery warrior. And to me, Saturn is about the Tower card. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. And I think we're all kind of with moving into such a fiery planet like that, we're all being called on to let go of what doesn't serve us anymore.
Yes.
It's like, all right, let me reinvent myself, or let me let go of the trauma that's no longer serving me, or let go of the vampires that drain me, or that I have to set boundaries with.
Yeah.
I always find when I have to let go of someone, when I let go of that negative energy that's attached with them, that new friends come in that are much more
conducive to a state of joy.
Yeah, and reciprocal.
Yes.
Like it's reciprocal.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, it's like somebody that's in a bad relationship. Get rid of that man, and the right man will come in. If you get rid of that energy, why are you saying
Right?
it doesn't serve?
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's so true. Like, and I think, it's important too to like remember the difference between just happiness, which is very fleeting and very, kind of in the moment, in the second. It's a feeling, it comes and goes. But joy is something that is always within us. It's like part of our heart, part of our true self. That connection is there, and it's within. And it helps us kind of sustain that inner connection. Being happy about this or that, a outside thing, a new this, a new that. That's but
Okay.
joy is in the present moment. It's something you choose to connect with. Oh,
First quote:
49.
Velvet Dragonflies, Billy Chapata. First quote of the thing, because we're talking about it. I pray that you never become so familiar with pain that you reject anything good that tries to find you.
Oh,
Never become so familiar with pain that you reject good, and because you're rejecting joy.
yes, that's beautiful. And we do. Sometimes we don't even realize it. Like if you've grown up in a very painful, place, childhood, you're so addicted or it's so familiar for so long that you don't know difference.
Bad relationship you stay in too long.
Yeah. Yeah. You just get sucked in and you don't even realize what's not present. You're so busy looking at what what's there or what you perceive, which is, part of this is kind of a shift in choosing a different perspective.
It's kind of like we were talking about Alcoholics Anonymous. We need a pain anonymous for people that are addicted to it, because there are people that are addicted to pain.
Yeah, that is true. Hi, Barbara. Good morning. Welcome to Joy. Those hearts are joyful. But so I think, I think noticing that joy is something you can connect with and pull on, whereas like happiness is kind of connected to something external. Usually it's fleeting, it's momentary, but joy is something you can stop in your world and say, okay, slow down. How do I connect? And you can choose. I mean, this morning I was out with the dog, and we were just there's kind of this little area that's communal area. And I'm in my head because, when we do these shows, I mean, it's an hour. It seems like, oh, yay. But it's also like an hour of getting materials and running through. Does this make sense? And is it a logical progression and all the things? And so I'm running through, spinning, my brain spinning. I'm not realizing it is a gorgeous day. The grass is beautiful, the sunlight on the grass, the dog's just in her bliss. And all of a sudden, this gorgeous monarch butterfly rose out of the grass and he just flew perfectly up into a tree. And I was like, okay, I'm back.
It's funny. We don't get on here and just chat. Like,
nope. Looks like it. We try to make it look like it, which is important.
We have notes, we have things to kind of guide our conversation. Yes, we interact and we listen to each other and we feed on, like Gail will say something and it triggers another thought that I haven't written down. So there's an interaction, being present in the moment. So what we show you is we do the prep work, but we also stay present in the moment. So we feed off each other.
Right. And that takes a very special Jen.
Like
we do, it's always fun. It's awesome, to like really be listening to each other. And so, better things than all the papers come up when we just chat it out, so it's awesome. But and so I'm like, when I saw that little butterfly, I'm like, oh, joy. Okay. Joy. He was gorgeous and just, huge monarch and just his beautiful orange color. And it was really something. So I'm like, okay, come back. So, but I thought, that's the moment. That's joy. That's how it happens, and you need to stop. If I'm thinking, oh my God, when I get to work, blah, 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 this and that, and this person, and oh, that person pisses me off and whatever, but if I stop and just am right there, I can connect.
I think I get more spiritual messages when I stay connected and in the moment. You're reminding me, talking about butterflies. Here's an example. Like, she's bringing something else out in me. I remember one time I was hiking on the coast of England. I was walking on the coastal path, and I'm like on the hill way above the sea. The sea is out here. I'm watching it, and I'm walking down this coastal path, the public paths that they have all around England. And it's very windy on those hillsides. As you get by the ocean and you're on a hillside, like all the trees grow at an angle up the hill because the wind has beaten them over. So here I am on this windy hillside. My hair's blowing. I'm getting blown like towards the hill. But I just felt so elated. It was so beautiful. And I looked down at my feet, and all around my feet, right in front of me, all the way down the hill, a couple of steps in front of me, are two of those little papery looking white butterflies, those little tiny fragile ones. And they're just fluttering all around my feet like they're guiding me down the hill. And it was a couple of miles down the hill, and they guided me down the hill all the way down and just kept fluttering around. I'm like, I would expect to see those inland, not there where the wind is so strong, right, beating. It's like, how does such a delicate butterfly keep getting ripped to shreds from the wind?
Oh my gosh, those coasts.
Dainty little white butterflies dancing all the way down the hill with me.
Wow.
Dancing. That's how you enjoy.
Wow. And I think, I think joy can be divine intervention too. Those were little angels, your little angels going, hey, Jen, hey, Jen, hey, Jen.
All the way down the hill.
Wow.
Little guides all the way down. It was just so beautiful.
Yeah. And we just need to remain open to that and stop and say, oh my God, look. Like, if I'm like mad, I'm like, burp, 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 burp. I would miss all of that, I think we just need to stay open. What a gorgeous story.
It's funny because I can't sing. I can't carry a tune in a bucket. I love music. I play guitar, but I don't have pitch control at all. I cannot sing. But there I am on the hillside singing at the top of my lungs. Nobody's around. Even if somebody was around, I just didn't care. I was feeling the joy, and it was coming out through song. And I was just singing. I'm sure, like, as I would come up on people coming up the hill or coming up behind me, I'm sure they're like, "Who's this crazy American singer?"
God, who let them in?
By herself on this hillside.
Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Oh, I'm looking at Mary's. Butterflies are powerful and withstand strong winds. Wow. And you travel thousands of miles. Wow.
Those little white ones to me are always the most delicate because I get them in my back garden in the spring all the time, and in the labyrinth. They love to flitter around the labyrinth. And they're so tiny and so paper thin little wings. It's like I see bigger butterflies that look stronger, like, because we have a lot of wind up here, Chicago area, windy city. We get a lot of wind. I see stronger butterflies, but these little dainty, fragile white ones, they just amaze me.
Yes. Wow. That's beautiful. Yes. Getting out of your mind, Barbara. Yes. I think that's the huge thing. If we are able to be present, I think that's a huge piece of joy is presence. Like, that's one of the elements, one of the parts that make you connect with joy is you have to be present. Like, if we're in the future or the past, there's no joy. I mean, if memory is, I get that you can tap into something, but a current present moment of joy is
It's kind of tied to contentment. It's like, can you be content 100% of the time? I'm not content with what's going on in our country, right now.
Yeah.
I know that, but I'm a warrior too. So I'm going to get out there and protest or whatever I can do. Right. I can only do what I can do. Right. But contentment, it's kind of like you look back, and joy's the same way to me. You look back and you see, like, on a personal level, I have a contentment with my lifestyle. I have a joy in my lifestyle. I have a joy in myself and in my friends and in those that I am around. I try to bring that out in the world, so if I'm out grocery shopping, I smile at the cashier. She's checking me out and chitty chat a little bit. I can talk to the wall, but
yes.
It's kind of like, you look back on joy. Yeah, you feel it in the moment, and then you can kind of reflect back on your life. And it's like, I've had a joyful life, even though there were ups and downs. I've had a joyful journey. That's why we choose to come back over and over again.
Right.
We want to come back.
Yes. And I think it's, remembering that and choosing that perception, and I think, like, I have struggled with depression since I was a kid, and it's a huge joy blocker. I know that sounds ridiculous. Of course it is, but it's hard to choose and to be present, and to, when you get consumed, and you need to remember always to separate. And I know that joy is somewhere in me, no matter how hard things get. Oh, hi, babe. Speaking of joy, is that Ro? Who is that?
No, that's Skewy.
Oh, Skewy, you are a grown man. Look at him.
He's full of joy. He lets me make him smile. See?
Oh.
He lets me do anything to him.
Skewy Buey, he's huge. I have not seen him in so long.
He's long and tall.
He is. Oh my goodness, Skewy, you're a grown man.
He's a big boy now.
He's a big boy. He's like, I'll take care of the household.
Mary's talking about, you can't find joy in your mind. It's deeply wired in our soul and spirit. But where the mind goes, a lot of times the heart follows. If we learn to live from the heart a little bit more, but sometimes we have to relanguage the brain. We have to get some of those negative thoughts out in order to feel it in the heart. So you do have to watch the words you tell yourself.
Yes, those internal dialogues, and how much time you spend thinking from a perspective of joy and gratitude. I mean, I think, what are the parts of staying in that headspace? Being in a place of gratitude. I think being aware of really small things around you, noticing, like, I get the same salad every day at work, but it's like some days I swear there's a little more love in there. And I'm like, oh God, this tastes so good today. Or, oh, that egg tastes so wonderful. Or, like, just noticing those tiny little things that just go, bring a little bit of joy.
Purr therapy. He is purring his
purr therapy. I love that, Barbara.
He's got a low, deep purr, and he's rubbing on me and purring.
Oh, that is true heaven.
Animals will bring you in the moment in a heartbeat.
They absolutely will connect you with your heart, and just and that feeling of the purring, like, it's so soothing for them and for me. Yes, but I think too, like, nature, connecting with nature, like the butterfly this morning, connecting with just what's all around you, like when my flowers bloom, and I take time to notice, because some mornings it's like, I'm late, I gotta water, blah blah blah, and I didn't notice all those gorgeous blooms that happened. It's a choice. So a lot of it is choosing too.
They just pop open overnight.
They do.
Oh, look. Oh, yeah. Like, surprise lilies in the summer always get me. It's like, oh, they opened,
Yes.
I didn't even notice they were getting ready to, and there they opened.
Yeah. And that's such a gift. I mean, to just stop and notice that, and there's so much joy in that for me. I love flowers. Like I love, even today I was like, ooh, what's joyful? This, for some reason, this colors, the colors make me happy. This blouse makes me happy. So I'm like, okay, even little things like that, noticing, ooh, I'm wearing my favorite thing today, or ooh, it's all joy. All that connection instead of being so distracted. So I had a situation this last week. I was getting my car back from being repaired, and on my way home, about 10 minutes after I picked it up, it broke down again.
Oh no.
And it was almost 5:30. Those guys are out the door.
Yeah.
The guy just handed me my keys, so he happened to pick up the phone. I'm like, I'm broken down. He's like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I mean, he was more upset than I was. And so I was so upset because it had stressed me out so bad. I've been Ubering to work, like they've been working on it, all these things. And, it's been a major stress. So to have it break down like 10 minutes after I picked it up, I was like, oh my God. So I'm in this, I luckily was on this street where it's near my home. I pulled off, made it into this giant parking lot of a restaurant that I go to. I know the people there. And I'm in there and I'm, dealing with the tow truck, talking with the dealership, all these things. And, I got really first panicky because I'm like, it's getting late. What am I, blah, 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 all the things, then angry. And then, a few minutes later, like, I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'm going to eat some dinner. The tow truck is nowhere in sight. I was so far down on the list because we're so busy out here. Everything, the dealerships are packed. The tow trucks are packed. It's a lot of people. So I finished my dinner. The guy was still over an hour out. So I go and I'm talking with the girls and they're all in the queue on what's happening. And they're like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. They're like, let us fill your tea, go sit out front. And I'm like, awesome. Like that kindness. And then this whole group of teachers, retired teachers came out, and I'm a school social worker. So they're like, what are you doing out here? I was just like sitting out there with my tea and my little bag and my, and I'm like, yeah, I told them what happened and they're like, no way. And we just got to talking. They were the kindest. They're like, you want to ride home? Can we take you, blah, blah, blah. We're laughing and sharing stories about our work. And it was just like a beautiful moment. The tow truck driver didn't show up till about 10:30 at night. Or actually, I got home about 10:30. He probably showed up about 10. But in the meantime, after they leave, and so it was beautiful. We're laughing. I'm like, oh my God, what a gift. If I wasn't sitting in this chair, I wouldn't have met all these wonderful women. And then the owner of the restaurant comes out. He's like, the girls just told me what's going on. I can have 5 family members drive you home. You tell me when you want to. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I'm waiting for he's like, come in, let me get you some more tea. I mean, everyone, like, what a gift that day was, and I could have sat there and been fuming at the bit.
Guides are bombarding you with the opportunities for sharing and joy.
Yes, to choose something else. And it was the most beautiful night. And I walked home. I was close enough to walk home. And it was such everyone offered me a ride. And I'm like, the moon was gorgeous. It was cool. It was beautiful out. It was probably half a mile. I'm like, nope, I'm going to walk it. And it was heaven. I told my sister-in-law, like, track me so I don't disappear, but I'm going to walk home. It was lovely. And I was just... Nice. I'm like, you can choose. I could have sat there because I was so upset at first. And I'm like, let it go. Like, what are you going to do? It's a car. Cars break. Everybody can tell you that, so it was, I felt like so joyful that night.
I think sometimes too, like, when the car breaks down, accept that as a blessing too. Maybe it kept you out of an accident,
Yep. You never know.
You never know.
Or maybe I would have broken down way far from home, or maybe I would have, broken down at 10:30 at night, It was like, just, you never know why that happens, but you can choose to be furious and you can choose to blame everybody and you can choose to, or you can just take the beautiful teachers and the lovely man that owned the restaurant, and the girls were so sweet that, waitresses, they're all like, oh, good luck, like, just, it was lovely. And it was a beautiful night. I'm just out there chilling, drinking my tea, thinking,
pouring rain or snow or
right, exactly.
In the winter when it's minus 15 degrees and you're getting frostbite and can't start your car.
Right. Yeah.
Could be dangerous,
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's important to choose, I think, and it's hard in the moment because it's terrifying.
Choose wisely.
Talk about a guy that lived in joy, right? Lived in that Zen kind of present mind of, nope. There is no what do or don't do. There no try or not try. There's only do. So get to it. That's awesome.
We should do a whole episode on Yoda wisdom.
Oh my gosh, that would be so fun. We should do that like January or February when it's like cold.
You're close to May the 4th, the first Sunday in May.
Okay.
You can get it. We celebrate the Star Wars Day. And we were talking earlier about staying in touch with your inner child and bringing them out, bringing our inner child out to play. Again, from our beautiful velvet dragonfly, your inner child is still waiting for you to listen to all the things other people ignored when you were younger. Your inner child is still waiting to be received by arms that hold your concerns with the same amount of weight. Your inner child is still waiting to be seen by you.
Yeah.
So you have to see your inner child first.
Yes. And that inner child is joyful, playful, silly, like when
creative.
Creative.
Likes to play, likes to create, likes to pretend,
Yes.
They're really good at faking it till they make it, right? Pretend, like, get there in your head first.
Right.
Get that imagination going, then you can manifest something.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh. No, I do that at work a lot. When I get stuck, something really, everybody's like, like it's some change, some glitch, something. And I just always say something completely off the wall and everybody busts up. And that's, it's just a shifter. You touch with that crazy little kid inside. It's
getting silly can break through. Getting silly in a moment. Kids, I think, are always like, I watch my neighbors' kids when they're outside playing. They always look like they're dancing when they're playing. They're always jumping around, and it's a dance of life. They're not dancing to music. They're just out being silly.
Right. And I think, like you were saying, the people around us, like I work with the most amazing women, and there's so much silliness, goofiness, trickery, tomfoolery, shenanigans in that office. And it keeps us, we have a very stressful job, and it keeps us just silly and kind and joyful and, even through hard stuff. And so it's important to surround yourself with people that can really tap into that goofy. The people don't never underestimate the power of goofy.
I think, I'm going for 2 cups today. I think, what being like reciprocal to me, like we can't all be up at the same time, but we can help each other, and lift spirits and lift energy.
Yes.
But, accept it when others are lifting yours too. Accept that help and that break. But it also starts from within. Find ways to lift your own energy. There are times where, I'm alone in my house and feeling, down about something. And I'm like, okay, I got to do something, get my energy up a little bit.
Yep. And it's that connection, right? Finding into that heart space, and that joy is always like a well underneath there. It's nothing outside, it's inside. Yeah. Wow. So I think, another thing is, what are the barriers to joy? Like what cuts us off from that connection? That's, specific connection. And I think we were talking about kind of carrying unhealed trauma, just anger or resentment or all these things that can just really consume you and cut off that path to joy. And it's always good to be just aware of what you're doing and how much time you're spending doing it. Not that there aren't things that cause a lot of pain, but
I think it goes back to being in the moment, being in the present. I am a firm believer in what you focus on is what you attract. So if you focus on the negative, you're going to attract more and more of the negative. If I can shift that and get to the middle ground, I don't have to go way over here, focusing all on the positive, but if I can shift it and get on that middle road for a little bit, it'll help me get over here to where I have those ups a little more frequently,
Right. Definitely. And I think, what we allow into, like, there's so much distraction, so much anger, hate, chaos, manipulation, like all this, not being so connected to the outside world, especially when it's trying to spin you, like media and social media and news and all these things that are just trying to, want you in a state of terror and in a state of unhappiness. Like, it cuts you completely off from that joy. You can't even touch it when you get so wound. So I think the noise and things that are just distracting, that are not beneficial, are really important to notice. Okay, how many hours did I spend angry about that today? Or how much am I seeking to bring in more chaos into my life? I think all that noise and busyness.
Barbara's talking about she has to sometimes encourage that inner child to come out, and it's like, the inner child likes to feel safe, right? A child likes to feel safe, and if it doesn't feel safe to come out and play, sometimes you do have to encourage it. I actually gave my inner child a name. I call her Baby Jenny, and I invite Baby Jenny out to play. I'm like, come out, it's safe. You're no one's harm you. Come out and play. Come paint with me. Come play guitar with me. Come outside and garden with me and Lucy. Whatever it is, find ways to encourage your inner child, because it's past traumas a lot of times that push us down. And keep from getting in the present
and tell us, no, you're not worth that, or how dare you, or all these things. But that is so true. I mean, and I think doing tasks that like you, Jen, with your guitar playing, me with my bowls and my art, like scribbling and coloring and just whatever, and the other thing that gives me joy, like I pulled a couple, this is a gorgeous ocean jasper, and I just pulled a couple crystals that just
beautiful. I love that.
I look at them and it's got this super pale blue. I don't know how well it's showing up, but my goodness, I saw this thing and it just made my heart so happy. So, even looking and being present with simple things, my little super pale pink, it's a calcite heart, I just pulled a couple ones that I immediately felt joy. Always rose quartz. I always keep one in my pocket. But, things that just bring you joy, the visually, or, just coloring, playing music, dancing. We were talking about dancing a lot, and just
I did my last night. I got through working for the day, doing readings for the day, fixed dinner, was sitting relaxing, and I'm like, I need a candlelight bubble bath. I just gotta do it, and that brings me joy.
Yes.
I soaked in the bathtub till the water went cold.
Nice. I do that too. I wait till it's cold. That's true. It's so good. Yes.
Mary's talking about joy makes energy more available to everyone. Infectious joy. What was that quote that you had about joy? Joy shared.
Was it me?
Yeah, you had a quote about.
Oh, yeah. Where the heck did that go? I don't know where it went. I might stumble across it. There's a lot of pages, and I try to keep myself on track. So I underline all kinds of things. And when you underline too much, then it's just a bunch of underlined stuff. So, but I probably will stumble.
Joy shared is multiplied. It's something to that effect. I forget what the quote was. Yeah, it's if that's why Sunday night, if one of us starts laughing, we all start laughing.
You guys, oh my gosh, you bust me up. And Johnny's laugh is like contagious. Laugh is contagious. Joy is contagious. It's like,
that's one epidemic we need more of.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Yes. Oh, I love that, Barbara. Yeah. Hearing your father's voice, hearing all those old voices. Ugh. Yeah. And just allowing yourself without judgment, without, getting down on yourself and beating yourself up. Just let yourself play. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yay. Mary loves ocean dresser.
No, Johnny, I am going to blame you.
You are not the quiet one. Well, he is, which is weird. And then he'll just bust up like, when
he gets tickled, and that will go like get Johnny laughing about something every Sunday night because it's contagious, and then
the whole room explodes. The chat goes crazy when Johnny starts busting up. It's oh my goodness.
And then he's got to get himself together.
Like, do a little. Oh my goodness. But I think, finally too, because I know we're getting up on our meditation time, but just, making sure you connect with things that bring you joy, the art, the music, where your spirit takes you, where you feel that heart connection, remember those things and spend time on them. And kind of a shift in perspective, like what happened with the car. I could have sat there and been fuming until that guy showed up and cussed him out and everybody else. But I had the greatest night, so you got to choose it. You got to choose it. And it was hard at first. I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing any of that shit right now. I'm mad, But you have to let go. You have to let go and let the world be its thing. It's you're being handed whatever it is for a reason,
It's funny because I'll be reading for people and they'll be complaining about, oh my God, I don't have anything positive going on in my life. And it's like, well, what are you doing about it? What are you doing about it?
Right.
It's like, we were talking about, it's like AA. If you're addicted to pain, right. Or you're addicted to suffering, then it's time to break that,
right. And it's a hard cycle to break. No one doubts that.
I've had to relocate so many times for when I worked in the corporate world for jobs, sometimes with the same company, sometimes changing jobs, to a different one. And when I talk about relocate, I mean moving states. I've lived in like 12 different states.
Yeah, Jen, you're a road warrior.
Woo! Yeah. and then traveling the world and stuff like that. Yeah. But when I moved up here, I moved up, I was in Memphis and I moved up to Illinois. That first weekend, my furniture arrives at my rental place, right? The movers are unpacking it, getting me all in, and I have boxes everywhere. And the cats are all confused, right? Like, oh my God, the house is a mess. And I had been bowling every Sunday. I like bowling. And me and some of my friends would go bowling every Sunday. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at all the boxes and I'm like, well, there's a bowling alley just 3 miles up the road. So I get a Starbucks, I go to the bowling lane. I don't know anybody. I'm there bowling by myself. And I started talking to people around me on the lanes next to me. And I started developing friendships. And on Sunday mornings, that's a time like the people my age tend to go back, the regulars. So my first friendships I made here when I relocated was at the bowling alley.
Wow.
And even, there were a lot of men that liked to bowl. There were very few women. But those men, they would bring their wives in and introduce me to their wives and stuff. And so I made some of my first friendships actually at the bowling alley.
Because you followed your joy.
Because I followed my joy. And I said, you don't have to be loud, like an Aries, that outgoing, but just saying good morning to people.
Yes.
Just acknowledging, I see you over there bowling.
Making that connection. Community is a huge piece of joy.
Complimenting them when they bowl, a great game or something like, wow, that's awesome. Help me over here because I'm not the best bowler. Well, retired pro bowler that
Wow.
came every Sunday morning. And as I got to know him, you know, we would talk across the alley and stuff, because it wasn't that full. You know, there weren't people on every single lane. So we would talk across the alley and stuff. He started coming over and giving me pointers. So
Nice.
I was working for Sears Kmart at the time. I joined the bowling league with Sears Kmart. So I was bowling on Thursday nights with the league, and then Sundays was my practice day with my friends. And he would come down and give me tips, and I had the most improved score that year.
Yay.
Because I was getting coached from a pro bowler.
We didn't need to share that part. No, just
Yeah. It was like, wow, I got much more consistent and everything. But he saw, you know, it's like guitar playing. I strive to improve, but I'm also having fun. But that's the nature of me. Like, if I'm doing something, I want to get better and better at it if I can.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful.
The Church of the Holy Bowlers, yes.
Oh, so yeah, I think just staying connected, you know, shifting your perspective, being willing to shift perspective, and just self-compassion. You know, don't beat yourself up. Like, that's stuff we all do when we get off track, when we're angry, when we're, you know, too focused on busyness or this. We're humans.
Yeah.
But just to always remember to come back to that joy and connection.
If you get resistant to change, how are you going to grow? If you're blocking, if you're resisting, it's like, okay, well, if I'm resisting this change and I'm hiding in my apartment or my house or whatever, and I'm not getting out and of the world and sharing myself, how do you expect others to share with you if you don't share yourself?
Right.
And even if you're an introvert, you know, you can still smile at people and acknowledge them and maybe start a conversation. You know, some of the most gentle, soft conversations for me happen in bookstores. And you're going up and down the aisles and you're looking at books, and you know, there's other people there, and just ask them, what have you read lately that's good? You know,
yes.
A little quiet, almost like you're in a library, right? That's my sacred temple, a bookstore.
I love it. I know. Yes, it is sacred ground. It is like joyful. It's because you're growing and you're creative. You're in a creative. When I'm in a bookstore, I'm in a creative mindset. Like, I'm looking for the next thing.
The power of words.
Yes.
That appeal to everybody, all the different genres. The power of words. There's something out there for everyone.
Yes. I love that, Paisley. Journey of You. Joy. Nice.
Nice. I love that.
All right, so I pulled 3 cards from, what did I do this morning? Just as our last, I know we're getting up on time here. The Whisper of Love. I love Josephine Wall. So it's the Whispers of Love deck, and it's all Josephine Wall art. She makes me so happy and joyful. But slow down, which is definitely, so be connected, spiritual connection, and listen with your heart. And those were just three random things that got pulled out this morning, you know.
It's like, listen with your heart, but speak with your heart also.
Yes.
You can add to that.
Yes.
Being authentic. That's coming from the heart, something that you're really feeling.
Yes.
It's a magical world out there. Stay open to the magic.
Yes,
we all have guides and angels that help us. They can't affect our free will. They get our attention to things, you know, so that we pay attention. We have the free will, what we want to learn, what we accept, and what we reject, right?
Right.
So, yeah, we're all surrounded with angels and guides. We're never alone. But they can't change us. Only we can change us.
Right. You have to choose.
You have to choose wisely.
Choose wisely.
And dance. Life's
and
a dance.
Dance.
Just imagine you're a kid out in your backyard chasing fireflies, you know?
Oh my gosh.
That's so much fun to watch a kid chasing fireflies.
Fireflies are so joyful. That's
Yeah.
like a little burst of joy just repeatedly as you run around like a lunatic. I still remember that when I was little.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
it was
And
always
you know what I noticed?
He's like, we're gonna stay outside till it gets dark because we gotta chase the fireflies.
Yes, yes, yes. And I noticed for the first time in a few years, I saw fireflies this year. And it's just, you know, for a while I didn't see them. And I don't know what the change is. I don't know. But
I think in certain areas we live in, sometimes like this year, I noticed the mosquitoes weren't as bad as previous years. And I just think it's kind of cyclical. In the South, you see a lot of fireflies, but up here, we're so cold in the winter when we've had a harsh,
right,
sometimes
they're gone. Yeah,
you don't see them.
they're like, oh hell no, we're out.
I
We can't do it.
live in an area where I should be able to see more fireflies, but
Yeah. Okay, are we ready for meditation? We're so late, Jen. We're so late. It's okay.
conversation.
Yeah. All right, I'm going out.
Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Ariel, we surrender to your mercy, compassion, and healing. We thank you for allowing our inner child to come out and play. We thank you for allowing our inner child to chase fireflies. We thank you for showing us beauty every day, lighting up our nights, filling our days with beautiful color and flowers. We thank you for sharing beauty with us every day and calling our attention to it. We thank you for our friends to share joy with. We thank you for the courage that allows me to seek new ways of connecting to others and manifesting joy. We thank you for supporting me on my own inner journey, knowing it is up to me. Thank you for supporting me through synchronicities and messages affirming I am on my own path to truth and authenticity and joy. I thank you for dancing with me. That was a good waking up gong at the end. I was like, wow, that's like a coffee, a jolt of caffeine. So October, we always do, for those that are watching for the first time, we always do Sacred Sounds of Coffee for Sundays of the month. In October, we're skipping a month. I'm going to be in Portland with Johnny, doing a seminar and taking a little vacation time. So we will be back in November, first Sunday of November, with a special guest for the first time ever on Sacred Sounds of Coffee. We've never had a guest on. Johnny will be joining us to talk about the sacred masculine.
Yay.
So, thank you for joining us today, as well as in November when we're back.
Yes. Jen, tell what's happening in October about Portland.
I'm teaching a seminar, healing energy seminar in Portland, working with the astral body. I do healing energy a little differently than like Reiki or other forms, but actually working from the astral body back into the physical. So the astral body has the memory of everything healthy. So you can align the astral body with the physical, and you can actually feel the astral body moving and aligning. It's really interesting.
And that's an amazing way to move those blocks to joy.
Yeah.
Energy work like that. Boy.
Little yes. Bella's come up.
Hi, Bella. Teresa, I don't yet. Terry, I'm working on it. Yes. So putting out more of the sound bowls, like more of a long meditation. Yep. I'm on it. I'm struggling. It's not the playing part. It's the equipment and understanding the programs and bass tracks and all this kind of stuff. More the producing of it, where it kind of trips me up a little bit. So it is being worked on while I learn like 10 things.
Recently, she quit her second job, so she's got a little more time now.
Because I missed this. I missed doing this work. I missed doing the creative healing stuff and putting it out there. My channel has been so stagnant. And so I'm so excited to get back to it, because it needs to happen. So no, goodbye, Lowe's. You've been lovely. Thank you. But moving on.
Thank you for the money you presented and the opportunity.
That's right. It helped. I'm grateful. And yeah. Yep. Yeah. So yay. Thank you, everybody. Oh my gosh, you guys have been amazing. I love this show. It's just such a joy. It's such a joy.
It's such a joy. Major joy today. Yeah. Inner child out to play.
Yes, for sure. For sure. And we will be back in November with Magical Johnny and his joyous heart.
Get him laughing about something.
Talking about the sacred masculine. That'll be awesome. So, and good luck, Jen. Hopefully I'll talk to you before then. But
for those who missed it, last month, we did Sacred Sounds on my channel, and the title of it was Back to Basics. It was August 3rd. And in the Back to Basics, the sacred feminine kept coming up over and over again. So that's why we invited Johnny to come and talk with us about the sacred masculine, because we all have both masculine and feminine energy in us. So, and that was Gail's idea. She said, "Do you want to invite Johnny on?" I was like, "That'd be awesome."
Yay. Yay.
He said, "Yeah." I'm going to hold you to it, Johnny.
Yay. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. And we will see you in November. Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.